They killed my company. I took everything from them. They laughed when my business died. Now I own theirs. Thumbnail text suggestions. They regret it now. Sweet punishment. Voice calm, but with an undercurrent of rage. When I stood on that balcony, looking down at my workers for the very last time, I swore it was over. They thought they'd destroyed me. They thought killing my company meant killing me. But what they didn't realize was that I was already planning my revenge. And when I struck, it would be poetic. And it would be public. If you've ever had someone rip away everything you worked for and dreamed of serving them justice on a silver platter, hit that like button and subscribe, because this is the story of how I turned my company's funeral into their worst nightmare. The rise. I built Pundistries from nothing. Just a tiny workshop, a few friends, and a love for clever wordplay products that made people laugh. We sold novelty items, gag gifts, clever ads for local companies, all with our unique pun twist. We weren't just making products. We were making joy. And we had a loyal customer base across the country. But there was one problem, Rival Corp. They hated us. We were taking a chunk of their market because people preferred creativity over their bland corporate garbage. Their CEO, Gerald Knox, was a shark in a suit, the kind who smiled for the cameras but gutted competitors in the dark. The first blow. It started small. A few suppliers suddenly dropped us. Then, marketing contracts we'd held for years were unexpectedly canceled. My calls went unanswered. And then came the real hit, a sudden industry-wide regulation change, conveniently written in a way that made Pundistries products non-compliant. We couldn't sell a single unit without expensive rebranding and approvals. Guess who sat on the board that passed the rule? Gerald Knox. I tried to fight it. Legal fees bled us dry. Clients left. Sales plummeted. And one sleepless night turned into weeks of sleepless nights. The breaking point. Finally, I had to face my employees, my friends, and tell them the truth. The news camera lights were blinding, but I forced a smile. My hands gripped the balcony rail so tight my knuckles went white. I looked down at the people who'd built this place with me, people I couldn't afford to pay anymore. Comrades, if you're still here, you have my utmost respect. We had crazy times, good times. But everything must come to an end. There's no longer a place to sell our puns, and no buyers means no karma. Go live your lives. And take whatever products you want, they're yours. What I didn't say on camera was that I knew exactly who was responsible, and I wasn't going to let them win. The plan begins. I spent the next few months living in the factory alone. Everyone thought I was broken, but I was gathering information. I still had friends in low places, delivery drivers, suppliers, even an intern who now worked at Rival Corp. Slowly, I pieced together Knox's empire and its weaknesses. Turns out, Rival Corp had just scored a massive government contract, one that required creative ad campaigns for public engagement. They didn't have the talent for it. They were going to outsource to small independent firms they could quietly control. That's when it hit me. I'd create a new identity, a shell company, Wordplay Innovations. No one would connect it to me. The setup. Under this new brand, I pitched a few small campaigns to Rival Corp through intermediaries. They bit hard. We delivered viral hits. We made them look good. They started trusting Wordplay with bigger and bigger contracts. Meanwhile, I kept them dependent on my team, which, by the way, was made up of the very same former employees they'd put out of work. The trap. 1 year in, Rival Corp signed a multi-million-dollar exclusive deal with Wordplay Innovations. But here's the twist. Every campaign was subtly designed to highlight our style, our humor, our voice. The public started associating Rival Corp's ads with us, not them. Then, when the time was right, we launched our own public rebranding. Overnight, every ongoing Rival Corp campaign was tied to Pundistries 2.0. The kill shot. When Knox called, his voice was shaking. Knox. What the hell is this? Me? Oh, Gerald, it's called poetic justice. You see, while you were busy killing my company, I was quietly building yours. And now the public thinks your brand is ours. Every laugh, every slogan belongs to me. And the best part? You signed over the rights in our contract. The news broke within hours. Rival Corp's stock tanked. Their investors fled. And Knox, well, he resigned in disgrace 2 weeks later. Watching that smug man's empire crumble was better than I'd ever imagined. My team was back together, my company reborn, and the same cameras that filmed our funeral were now broadcasting our victory. When a reporter asked me how it felt, I just smiled and said, "First words I ever said when I started this business. Always leave them laughing, especially when it's at their expense." Revenge doesn't always come fast. Sometimes it's slow, calculated, and patient. But when it lands, it's not just justice. It's art. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the best revenge you've ever seen? And of course, subscribe for more stories where the bad guys never see it coming.